Hey, hello. All right. Let's make sure everything is going here. We're live, shall we?
We had some technical difficulties yesterday.
Oh my gosh. So, there were probably a bunch of you who also were not able to use Instagram and Facebook yesterday. We were actually going to do this yesterday, but the internet gods had other plans for us.
So we rescheduled.
Yeah, so, but, it's Brianna here, and I'm here with Lina, and I called this live, allow yourself to be pulled in the direction of your dreams. So, the reason why I called it that is because Lina, I've been following Lina for a long time now, and you have totally inspired me. And what I've witnessed her do, which is really amazing, is she has gone from just having a table, a little pop-up table, actually one of my events, and now we are sitting here in her office, a few years later, and I just feel like that's such an amazing accomplishment, and I'm really proud of what you've done, and just watching your growth. It's been really cool. So I was hoping you could kind of talk about that. Just talk about how you were able to go from just having your one little booth to now you are serving brides all over the San Joaquin County, and you're just like on fire right now.
Oh, thank you.
And not only that, you're throwing a huge bridal expo in May over here at the Hilton, and and we're going to be part of that too. Southern Exposure is going to be part of that, and I'm just like, I'm really amazed. So I was hoping you could talk to, how were you able to not give up? How were you able to, create what you've created and not get discouraged and give up, and let it go?
And there has been a lot of moments, and I think talking candidly with, I post a lot about it, both on my personal and my business page, because I know that there's always somebody out there that can relate. Maybe they don't say it, maybe they don't write it, but I know there's been those moments where I feel really alone, and I'm like, maybe this isn't for me. But I think that when you find something that you're good at, and definitely when you get the response from your clients and the community, and you have people like yourself who are saying things, encouraging things, and even just compliments on my work, that just reinstills that motivation. I always tell people it's not like I think I'm the best, decorator. I am very confident in what I do. I love what I do. But I don't go around boasting, oh, look at me, I am the best at this or the best at that. I let my work speak for itself. So when people come to me and say, oh my gosh, you did such and such wedding and it was beautiful, that just kind of fills my cup again. You know what I mean? And so those are little things. So I have friends that have businesses. I try to do that for them. When I see them doing a new event or trying something different, I try to verbally let them know, I seen that you did this and it was amazing, or I love what you did. It's like in the general public, how often do we walk past somebody and say, I love your hair. I love your necklace. Oh my gosh, I love your nail color. Sometimes we do it, but I think we need to kind of remind ourselves that there's somebody that always needs a little hug or a little push or a little motivation. And you never know what that person could be feeling at that moment. Somebody could have felt really insecure about what they wore that day and then walk by you and you're like, I love your top.
That's right. That positivity, definitely.
And they're little things, but sometimes I think it's so easy to get in that constant rush. Every day, we're moving, we're going, we have a million things going on. That we kind of don't step outside of ourselves sometimes. And sometimes, let's be honest, the whole world is tuned out and we're just focused on what we're doing. So kind of taking those moments to kind of share with other people how you feel about something, or that you appreciated something, or that you enjoyed something. I went to your event and I enjoyed it. Little things like that.
And really taking what that other person says, when somebody compliments you on your work, really accepting it, receiving it, letting it, instead of just brushing it off. Because so many times people will receive compliments but not really take them to heart.
And that's a good point, because I do have a couple friends that are vendors, and they're starting out in the business, and when they get compliments, they're kind of shy about it. They're kind of like, oh, I'm like, you're a great photographer, and they're kind of like, oh, and it's like, own it.
Yeah.
Own it. If somebody of any caliber is telling you that you're good at something or that something you did is great, own it. Accept it and sit there and savor it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you've been doing something for 5 minutes or 10 years or 3 days. If you're passionate about something, it shows.
Right, that's true. Now, and I know that you're super passionate about what you do because, it's just so obvious just through the way you talk to people, through how much you, you're passionate about what you do and you're, creating all of these events. But can you talk about, we talked about this one-on-one a little bit, but I would love for you to share, with our friends out here who are watching, who are maybe discouraged right now. What was the turning point for you when you decided to start throwing your own big events?
So for me, specifically the bridal events. So, I've been in business for about 6-7 years here locally. And in the beginning, I was under the impression, okay, I'm just starting out. How do I get my name out there? You assume that bridal shows and bridal expos are the number one way that you're going to get brides. That is what you think. Mm-hmm. And so you start, okay, when's the next bridal show? Who's throwing it? This and that. So I would see that there was bridal events going on, and so I would, contact the people and ask if they had a, room for my category and things like that. And, I didn't feel as welcome and as, I didn't feel like I was, and again, I get it. There's two sides to it. When you're first coming into the industry, you don't want to be that person that's like, look at me, everybody pay attention to me, let me into your circle, let me into your events. You don't want to be that person, but you also want to make it known that you're hungry and
right.
You're motivated and you're willing to work and you want to collaborate and all those things. And I always felt like I was coming into it with good spirits. Now, there was kind of, there's cliques and everything, there's groups, there's all those kind of things in every industry, no matter what it is, salons, anything.
Yeah.
And I felt like a lot of doors were shut. And so when I would ask, hey, I noticed so-and-so decorated this event, do you think that the next year I could have a shot at it, to show you what I can do? And I was instantly met with resistance.
And it was like, no, we got it covered.
Right. And it was like, no, we already have somebody we work with. Sorry. And it wasn't.
It's like a door slammed in your face.
Yeah. And there wasn't any kind of, it wasn't left cracked like, oh, well, maybe we can talk next year. Or, hey, can you bring me photos of what you have? Or it was just, yeah, it was a flat out no. And so I took that and I kind of sat with it. And I've always been the type of person, my personality, where I love everybody. I'm that kumbaya friend that loves to be friends with everybody and
very extroverted.
Right. However, by the same token, I don't like to feel like I'm begging to be anybody's friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's this quote that I found last year and it really sat with me, and it said something like, instead of begging to sit at the table, I created my own.
I love that.
And that's huge because that's essentially what I did. So
you must have been feeling kind of angry,
yeah,
dejected, kind of why am I? Did you ever think about for a second, why am I even doing this?
I think if that crossed my mind for a split second, I think it was instantly paired with motivation. Like I was telling you, I think that. That's a very internal thing that you have to learn, that when you hit a bump in the road, it's okay to be mad and sad and frustrated and angry and pissed off. It's okay. Those are human reactions. It's okay to do that. But don't sit in that place too long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Feel that way. Go home, sit in your bed, be mad for a little bit, and then the next morning, get up and hit the pavement.
So don't live there.
Yeah, don't live there.
Yeah.
Take a couple, if you need a couple days, take a couple days, but, don't stay there too long, because I've seen so many businesses, people go out of business, people just give up on things that they're really passionate about because they hit bumps in the road.
It reminds me a lot of that, maybe you guys have seen this little, like, it's like a meme. It's like the two guys are digging in a cave. One of them is like this close to the treasure, and he just turns around and gives up because he's like, you know what?
I've been at this too long.
Yeah, I've been doing this for too long. I give up. And I think what I've learned from you is that, getting those like no's is almost like a blessing. It's almost like a gift. It's like, you know what? Now it's time for you to build your own table.
Well, yeah, because if that person would have said, sure, come on in, you can do this, you can do that, would I have branched out and now become a show producer? Probably not. Let's be honest. If a venue said, Lina, come on over to our place, you can do your thing here, blah, 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 who knows? I definitely probably would not have been where I'm at today, being inspired to become a show producer and now put on bridal events in our area that are really, really more focused on just a whole different, it's like night and day compared to what traditional cliche bridal events are. I like to do, my business name is Unique Events by Lina. I like unique, I like out of the box, I like interactive. I feel like, in the day and age we are, all our brides, they want that cutting edge, fun, exciting. Traditional is great, but I'm kind of breaking out of that. So our events are just really like upbeat, fast-paced music, high energy, fun fashion show. We're going to do a lot of games and interactive things at this fashion show.
And local. I like that you're keeping it very local, not exporting everything to,
out vendors from out of the area. Yeah, that's huge because there is so much talent here. Absolutely. And if we don't promote and share and bring up talent here locally, who's going to do it?
Exactly. And, we talked a lot, you talked a lot about, there was something that we've been kind of like bouncing around is like just creating, like digging right where you are and creating the events that you want to see. And I think there's really something to be said about that. Like if you're bored or if you're, you don't feel passionate about something or you're like, oh, I wish that, there was this kind of event here, like take the initiative and make it happen.
And, I'm lucky enough to be an event planner, coordinator, event producer, whatever title you want to give it. So for me, when I have a concept, it's easy for me to execute because I have the tools, I have the resources, I have the contacts. So when I come up with something, it's easy for me to just pull the trigger. Now, if you're somebody who's not, into events, you haven't done an event, that's okay. If you have a concept or something you want to see come to life, it's as simple as picking up the phone and contacting somebody like me, and say, hey, Lina, I know you're an event planner. I know you're doing a lot of local events. Can we team up?
And a lot of entrepreneurs, that's where they kind of drop the ball, in my opinion, is they are too either afraid or
intimidated or don't know where to start.
Yeah.
I tell my brides this all the time. They'll come in and they'll say, oh my gosh, I don't know this, I don't know that. What is this? What is that? And I tell them one of the first things I say is, you're not expected to know anything. Have you been married before? 9 times out of 10, it's no.
Sometimes it's yeah.
Sometimes it's yeah, and that's okay. But I tell them, this is the biggest event you've ever thrown.
Yeah.
Aside from birthday parties and small little things at your house, this is huge.
Yeah.
This is huge. So the fact that you are unsure and you don't know where to start is okay. But again, don't sit in that space too long where you're overwhelmed and you're confused. Reach out to somebody like myself. And like we were talking yesterday, I tell people all the time, it's $25 to come in and sit with me for an hour. Come in and tell me about your event. Maybe you're just at the beginning stages. Maybe
$25. I mean, that's like nothing.
We spend that on fast food in a couple days.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you'll definitely leave here with something.
Yeah.
You'll leave here with something, whether it's vendor contacts, whether it's advice, tips. You'll leave with something. If you have an event coming up, if you're just in the beginning stages, a concept for something you want to see locally, come in and let's talk about it, and I can get you going. my goal when I started this business was to be a resource for people. My goal is not
Giving.
Yes.
Providing value. And that's another
Right.
thing like so many entrepreneurs forget. They're like, oh, what can I get from this person?
Right.
What can I take? What can I get? You have to completely change. You have to
Right.
flip that on its head. It's like, what value can I add?
Can I
Who
give?
is my
Right.
person? Who's my target audience?
And
how
what can I do for them?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I think it's easy for people to get caught up in sales.
Yeah.
Money, revenue. I can tell you 100% that when you put that to the side, now I'm not saying that that's not important because we got to pay the bills and
Right.
all that, but when you put that here and you focus more on the giving and the service and the customer service and providing value and being important, I don't have to sell myself because I am who I am, and with them sitting with me and picking my brain and seeing all the information, that's where they see the value. So the selling aspect of it comes second.
Right.
I don't have to hard sell myself. I don't have to say, this is why you should go with me. Please go with me. I don't have to do that. I just have to be my true, genuine self and provide and give. And through that, I get the sell.
Okay, so here's a big question for you. What about the people who don't exactly know who they are yet? Or they haven't developed that like hunger for it. What do you say to that person who's finding themselves in the place where they're doing a hard sell, or they're messaging you on Instagram and Facebook, oh, here's a link to my, tea product. It's like, what did you have to cultivate in yourself to be authentic? To really put yourself out there in an authentic way, because I feel like that's what's missing
in a lot of people. Yeah, I think it has to do with the service and the product. So with my service and my product, what motivated me, what propelled me was I was getting married, and I felt like there was like a niche that needed to be filled as far as like decorators and candy tables, which is how I started. A lot of you will know that have been with me for a long time. It all started with candy tables. There was nobody here locally that was specializing in that.
And could you have known at the time that your candy tables would have led to this?
I had no idea. I mean, I really didn't. I just knew that I loved designing the candy tables. I thought it was just amazing and fun, and being able to set that up at somebody's wedding or baby shower or birthday party, and to add my little special touch to it, and my flair and my style, that brings me joy. I mean, I tell people all the time, because they'll contact me and they'll say, Lina, do you even still do candy table? And I'm like, yes, I do them. Yes, I do. I love them. They're
so cute. And
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, like playing with something that everybody loves, which is sweets.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that. Getting to design with something that is near and dear and everybody loves.
Right.
It's so that's how I started. I was getting married and I kept Googling because of course on Pinterest I seen all these candy tables and I'm like, that's so cute. Yeah, but it was a very new idea. It hadn't really come into the area yet. And I thought it was cute. I said, oh, that's a great favor. They get to make a little bag with candy. That's awesome. And so I kept Googling, candy buffets, and nothing. There was nothing. And so I did my wedding. And of course, it was nothing like what I do now. It was just kind of put together. But then shortly after, I started getting family who said, hey, I have a baby shower coming up. Actually, my husband's cousin, Mondo, in case you see this, Mondo, they were my first clients.
Oh, nice.
And they said, hey, we're having a baby shower. Can you, I'd like to hire you. And I'm like, ooh, you want to hire me?
Yeah.
And so I did it. And to this day, it's probably one of my favorites.
Wow.
Because it was very simple. It wasn't a lot of like overthinking. It was just me being me.
So were you working at did you have like a 9-to-5 job before you did this?
So that's like a good thing to tap into. Good question. So throughout the years, I have tried to, go back to like my 9-to-5 kind of jobs and things like that. And I have held, them for quite a bit. But I always find myself coming back to this place where something in me reminds me, and it could be a client, it could be a friend, it could be an event, it could be anything, but it reminds me that if I lose focus of my passion and my business, and it's like a flower, you know, if you're not watering it and taking care of it, if I'm just leaving it there and not paying attention to it, what happens? It dies.
Right.
And yeah, you can start watering it again and giving it, you know, flower food and trying to get it to come back.
But then you lose that momentum.
You do. And so, truth be told, you know, a lot of people know my story and know that when I first started out, my husband approached me with this and said, "You're good at it. Pursue it. Let's, you know, do it."
Have that support.
Yeah, he believed in me and he said, "I'm going to financially back you. Go for it." That's
awesome.
huge. And that's something that, you know, that sits with me and I appreciate and I'm forever grateful for, because a lot of people don't have that.
That's true.
A lot of people don't have that support system, both financially and emotionally and mentally and
and
physically.
And if you don't, though, you've got to start surrounding yourself with other people.
If you're single, if you don't have a partner, if your family, maybe doesn't get what you're doing or whatever the case, reach out to those that are out there.
And today
for
we live
support.
in the internet age. It's like the golden age of the internet. There are people that will believe in you.
Oh,
there
yeah.
are people that will cheer you on. And so if you're finding yourself surrounded by people who don't get what you're trying to do, it's time to get some new friends.
Reevaluate, yeah.
So it's like, and I just love what we're touching on, because I feel like it all kind of, because it kind of goes like hand in hand with my story too. Like I worked a 9-to-5 job, in like a lot of different industries, and even
trying to kind of find
my niche.
Right, yeah, that's true.
What I really wanted to do, and then finally I moved back to Stockton, and it was like I hit like a breaking point. I was like, this social media like marketing thing, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna have to go back and get another 9-to-5 job and all this stuff, and it ended up being like so clear, like, okay, well, I've always loved cosmetology. My parents have a beautiful salon here. It's been here for 30 years. It's something that's like been on my bucket list. Like, why would I not pursue this?
Yeah.
And it's been the best decision I've ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it keeps growing and growing and building this momentum. And
organically and on its own.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's huge. Like we said, the flower.
Yeah.
So if the it just blooms. You know what I mean? You don't, I've all these opportunities and people like you and all these amazing positive things have come into my little world just on their own.
And that is the biggest difference. So like so often it's like and you probably can agree with this, like a lot of our viewers out there, you're pushing your way through life.
Mm-hmm.
And that means, in my opinion, that you're out of alignment.
Right.
If you're pushing everything,
mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, I gotta do this or I gotta do that, and you feel like every day is a struggle. You're constantly just trying to force things to work.
You're just banging your head against a wall.
Right. And when you are in alignment with your true mission, when you're in alignment with your talents, with your dreams, with what is authentic to you, things just get pulled
mm-hmm.
to you. It's like you don't have to push anymore. You're just like, instead of pushing, you're like, all right, I'm getting pulled by this. It's such a powerful thing that you're pulled, literally, like you're pulled by it. Like,
and that's a hard concept because some people might think that's BS, or they might, but when you have felt it,
you know it's true.
And
mm-hmm.
and I would say all the vendors that like I connect and I work with, are amazing. Shout out to Greg at Elite Entertainment and Jaime at La Rosa, Liz at Michelle's Flower Cart. These are all just super genuine. Mr. and Mrs. Photography, Levi and Wendy, Tiffany at Fizz Bakery. I mean, these are just amazing fellow vendors who I love. And I mean, I'm
You've
not
tried.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying I love them because they send me weddings, because that's not as people, they're just genuinely amazing people. And there's a lot of them out there, so if I miss anybody, I'm so sorry. But I mean, they're so amazing, and they're passionate. And Joseph, my photographer friend, I mean, they're Shelly over at A23. They're so passionate about what they do that you just gel off each other, and you mesh, and you it just works. It works really well, and they keep you inspired, you know. And maybe it's not a phone call or a text every day, but maybe it's just them posting a motivational quote,
right?
You know, and it kind of
you vibe with it.
And then you're like, oh yes, that's what I needed to hear today, you know. So surrounding yourself with those people, getting to know people that are on that same wavelength.
So important.
It is. In the beginning, when I first started in the industry, like you said, I felt like it was a lot of me like pushing my way, trying to connect with people who were just not meant for me. And now
that's so powerful. I just got the chills.
It is because the ones that were meant for me, it just happened. It happened how it was supposed to happen, and it's still in place, and we're great friends, and it's a great support system. And those that were not meant for me are
kind of just
to the wayside. And you have to learn. A good friend of mine, Greg, we were talking about this the other day. We said we work with everybody. I work with everybody. I'm not that kind of person that's like, oh, you have to go with this vendor or that vendor. I work with everybody. I'm very pro small business, and I just want to see everybody win. But I don't network with everyone. That's huge. I don't network with just anybody. I'm not going to send my brides to just anybody.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like when you're talking about networking and handing my lead, you know, here's a bride that's getting married on X date. They need this service. Those clients to me are like so precious.
They're like gold.
They're like, I take so much responsibility in that. And I know other vendors do it differently. You know, there's people that actually pay for leads and, you know, kind of what we were talking about yesterday, referrals and things. And I don't believe in that. If I give you a bride's information, it's because I know that you are going to take care of her 110%.
Not because you're paying a monthly fee to be part of a group,
right? Or giving me a kickback of 10% or whatever it may be.
It's because it's like genuine.
Yeah, I trust you, and I know that I want my bride and groom to be taken care of. And I know you're going to do that because we work together, and your professionalism is here. That's what it's about,
right?
You know, and so that's huge. Finding a group that can fill that need to offer your clients what they need. You know, like if somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm getting married. Do you know any decorators?"
Oh my gosh! Right away, you know? I'd be like, "You have to go see Lina."
And people can feel that genuine. If you give me a genuine referral and you're like, "Girl, she did my wedding so good," like you can feel that.
That's right.
You can feel that, and you can feel that trust. And that just helps, again, like we were talking about selling. That's why I don't have to sell myself. Because by the time that person comes through the door, they already feel that connection because you have a connection with them and you gave such a strong recommendation. So it starts tying the ties of the personal, like, touch. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a cold sell anymore. It's not them just coming in off the sidewalk and saying, "Hey, you do weddings?" You know, there's already a personal connection,
right?
And that's huge.
The power of
that is huge.
Yeah, that's the power of really like aligning yourself with the right tribe, aligning yourself with people who are like minds, and that's that is so crucial. So, like for our viewers who are watching, like if you're finding yourself pushing and pushing and pushing. What is like what's the best word of advice you have for them? Because I think, you know, for me, it kind of like I had to have a shift. I had to have a shift in my whole mentality and the whole way that I like view things. Right. And I had to really get in a very powerful place of validating myself, because sometimes it's like it can feel very hurtful if somebody that you really want to work with doesn't really want to work with you.
That is true.
And it can be a really hard pill to swallow. And it's like, well, why? Am I not good enough?
Because you start self-doubting. Right. You start wondering, am I not good enough? Am I not ready? You know, is there a reason why they won't talk to me? Am I not... Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm trying to get into a circle that I don't belong in. Maybe I'm way out of my league. You know, you do. It's natural. Rejection brings those kind of feelings.
And rejection, as they say, rejection is protection. You know, like if you're being rejected from something good, that means there is something better for you on the other side of it, and you just I strongly agree on that. And then it's just not the right time. Yeah, it's not the right time, because some of those people that
I wouldn't say rejected me in the beginning, but they weren't like super open arms to me. Now is our time to get to know each other. Now our relationship is growing. Timing is everything. When you're coming into a new industry, whether it be, you know, weddings or whatever, cosmetology, salons, anything, photography, when you are the new person on the block, you have to respect the fact that you have to put in your time.
Oh my God, that's gold.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to put your head down and be motivated and be out there, but you have to put in the work.
You have to do the work, exactly. You can't.
There's no shortcuts.
Yep.
You cannot just show up on the scene today and be, you know,
superstar.
And you could be amazing at what you do, but if you have that attitude and that that's your kind of mentality is like, oh, everybody make room for me because I'm here now. People are gonna shy away from that, and people that have put in the blood, sweat, and tears are gonna be like,
they're gonna be like,
calm down.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have to understand that that is part of it. I was on that first side of being the new kid on the block, and now I can definitely say I'm not the new kid on the block, but I'm also not 30 years in the industry. So I'm somewhere in the middle. But you know, I know what it feels like to be on both ends. You know, so just be humble. That would be the most perfect word, is to be humble, to be confident in what you do and your gift and your passion.
And to not give up.
And to not give up, but don't be obnoxious.
Right.
And in your face, you know.
Hard selling.
Try my tea, you know.
This tea's great.
Yeah,
you know,
don't be that person, because you know what?
People don't like that.
And that can shut the door permanently.
That's true.
If you're so over the top extra, that could be like, you know, that could change it from, okay, I might revisit this and maybe talk to this person later.
So like that's a nail on the coffin.
Yeah, I just don't vibe with her. She's just over the top. I can't do it. So be careful. Tread lightly. You know, tread lightly. Be respectful and fill out the person. Fill out and kind of match their energy. Have you ever heard of, you know?
Absolutely.
There's lots of quotes out there like that say things like that. Match their energy. If somebody comes to me and they're a little reserved, you know, I'm reserved. If somebody comes to me and they're just like energetic, then, you know, it brings the energy out of me. But match their energy so that
they feel comfortable.
So that they feel comfortable.
That's right.
If a bride is really quiet, I'm not going to be like all in her face, you know, like,
because that's going to really put her off.
Yeah, it's going to make her feel like, whoa, like this is too much, you know. That's why, as another, I tell people too, is we are in the industry of not only do we sell our product and our service, but we sell ourselves.
Right, that's so true.
We sell ourselves. So that's another reason why I tell people, come in and do a consultation with me. Let's see if our personalities even match up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I might be too much for you, or you might be too much for me, or vice versa, and that's okay.
And I love that. It's like you don't have to be everything to everybody.
Right.
You just have to be yourself, and naturally, everyone, you're gonna draw in the right clientele, the right partners.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I can attest to 100%. In the beginning, it was like I was just whatever clientele I could get. You know, anybody who called me, I was just working with anybody and everybody. Because in the beginning, that's kind of
what you need to do.
That's part of putting in the work,
right? That's so true.
And so, you know, I felt like I had a certain kind of clientele, certain kind of budget, which it's just amazing because without that, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. But as you grow and as your work grows and your style grows and your portfolio grows and your experience grows,
you can be a little more picky.
Yes, you can be picky on your clients, and then you start noticing the kind of clients that come to you are different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so those are things that just happen naturally.
I love it. Well, one thing that I'm so excited about that that I can't wait to partner up with you on this, and it's something that Lina was talking about, and we started talking about it together, is creating an event for women in the San Joaquin area, in Stockton, for local women, for like women who are either entrepreneurs, want to be entrepreneurs. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's something that I always wanted to do. I've always seen in bigger cities like LA and San Francisco, New York, lots of women empowerment events and female driven, you know, boss babe kind of things. And that's something that sits really, you know, close to me because I'm a female business owner. And I didn't really see that happening here locally.
Yeah.
I've seen, you know, little pop-ups here and there, but I haven't seen like a large scale event that is female focused.
Right.
And and not to say that we don't love the guys, because we love the guys.
But it's kind of about that whole tribe concept.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, as women, we were talking yesterday, finding that balance, being a business owner. Like me, for instance, I'll give you just a little taste on, you know, how I balance. I'm a business owner. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. Take care of my elderly father. You know, I'm a show producer. I'm now putting on bridal events. I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt. I'm a cousin. You know,
do it all.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a lot of hats. That's a lot of hats to juggle. That's a lot of things. And to top it off, you know, I'm trying to stay inspired and motivate others. So I know that there's other moms and not even, again, you don't have to be a mom, but just other women in general that have a lot on their plate and still want to focus on their passion, whether it be crafting something, whether it be making something, whether it be some kind of service or product, whatever.
Yeah.
There's always something that drives us, you know, that makes us happy.
Right.
When you find your passion, you know it's your passion because you're happy when you're doing it.
You are in the zone.
You're in the zone and it's not work.
Right.
That's what everybody's always told me, you know, it's not a job to you anymore. It's because it's your passion. You love it.
Yeah.
You know, when I come here to my office, I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm
flow.
not walking in like, oh, I'm back again. You know, I love being here. So finding whatever that could be to you, because it's different to everybody, finding that and just growing it and feeding it and being passionate about it.
And so you're doing something really awesome coming up this summer.
Yeah.
For women.
Yeah, July of this year, we are just pinning down our location, so it'll be announced really soon.
Yes.
We're going to do a women empowerment event. It'll be female focused. It's going to be called Boss Babe Brunch 209. So we'll do brunch.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be there.
Yes.
And I have a Facebook group that you guys can join. I'm going to post more about it in there. I think you're in it too, Lina.
Yeah. So we'll keep updating as little things go on, but we'll have speakers. We'll have a really good meal. Lots of drinks and champagne and mimosas, and just sit and just talk and just network and collab, and you know, we'll have speakers. We'll do Q&A. I love Q&A. We were talking about that yesterday. Yeah. So I'll get on stage, you know, you'll get on stage, and people can just pick our brains.
It's going to be great, you guys. I can't wait to have something like this locally. We don't have to go out to the Bay Area. We don't have to go anywhere. Everything that we need is right here where we are, and it's all about like coming together and creating that community. And I'm just so grateful for you,
thank you.
to sit here with me and let me pick your brain, and also like let our viewers kind of you've just added so much. I think just so many like golden nuggets. I'm gonna have to go back and like listen to this again.
And people forget sometimes their story. You know, like unless somebody comes and asks me my story or how I got started, we don't always revisit it a lot.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So there's always somebody out there that would love to hear your story because there's something in it that will speak to them and that they can relate to.
Absolutely.
So I think that's huge, and just being proud of our story. You know, being proud of our wins and our failures.
Absolutely.
Because those failures,
you learn the most from.
You do, and those closed doors, talking about them. You know, not being ashamed, not being embarrassed, not being oh God, I don't want to talk about that. And nothing is off limits with me.
Because
you know?
it's like, it's almost like those things that you don't want to share, those are the things that actually can really powerfully impact someone.
For sure.
Those things that you're like, oh my God, I wish this didn't happen, how embarrassing. Like, that's what you learn the most from, and that's when other people can really connect with you, because it's like nobody's perfect.
Right.
Nobody
Perfect,
and if you try to put yourself out there as this like perfect person, you're gonna turn people off. Because
there's no human relation.
Exactly.
You know, or you're a robot.
One. Yeah.
You must be a robot if you're perfect.
Yeah, like there's nobody, everybody has their flaws, their things that they want to work on, and all of that. But it's like, it's not about being perfect. It is about your story. It's about overcoming the hard times, and like making the best of it and running with it, and being yourself authentically.
And staying motivated, you know, like you said, finding your tribe. And like we were talking about, if it's, you know, just going to brunch once a month, you know, that's another thing that me and Brianna are going to try to work on, is a young professionals group.
It's happening, guys. It is happening. Young professionals.
Yeah, just you know, meeting every other Sunday, and let's go do brunch, and let's just sit and talk about whatever you know, business, personal, social media, clients, contracts, whatever.
And no commitment, like, you don't have to pay to play, just pay for your brunch.
Come and pay for your food. But very low key and low stress. That's one thing we were talking about yesterday, is I think that turns a lot of people off, is when it's like, oh, you have to register, you have to this, you have to that. Now for big events, I can understand that, like the Boss Babe brunch, that's something you got to buy tickets to and register and all that. But for like just little low key like meetups, you know, just little mixers, like let's do it. You know, don't think about it too much. Just say, you know what, commit to it, in the sense of, I know Brianna's gonna call me. It's every other Sunday. I gotta go, and you know, just make it a point to go. Because once you start saying, "Oh, I'll go next week," you kind of fall back, and life happens. So
and you lose the momentum.
You do,
and the momentum is so important.
Oh yeah, it really is. When I sit here and brainstorm with somebody, I'm on fire.
Yeah,
I'm on fire.
Like this talk right now. I mean, you're killing it. You're just like, I just am so impressed by what you're doing, and you know, it's probably about time to kind of wrap it up. But before we do, I was hoping that you could share a couple things that keep you motivated. I mean, we've covered so many things. You have done so much in such a short time, and there's so much more to come, you know, with the bridal event, with the Boss Babes, with the young professional mixers. There's so much more to come. What keeps you motivated?
You know, I've heard this a lot, but definitely my family, my kids, you know, my kids, leaving them, like the other gentleman mentioned, a legacy, you know, building a brand and a business that your family can be proud of. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying my kids are going to be the best event planners, but my kids, you know, they appreciate my business. They help in the business. It's a family business. You'll see my kids putting on chair covers, and you know, so they keep me motivated, in the sense of, I seen a quote the other day, give your kids a mom they can be proud of.
I love it.
You know, my kids, I hear them all the time saying, my mom's a business owner, you know.
That's so cool.
They'll volunteer me for things at the school, and I'm just like, oh, Lord. You know, they'll say, oh, yeah, you guys need tablecloths? Yeah, my mom has it, you know. And it's like, you know, if they had cards, they'd be passing them out. But so my husband, you know, he sent me several clients from his job.
That's so awesome. They are proud of you.
Yeah, so it's something that they can share. So that's one of my big motivations. And then my clients, you know, giving them a good service, and seeing the look on their face when they're walking down the aisle, or seeing their face when they walk in their room on their wedding day, their reception, and they're just like, oh my God, Lina, I love it. Like, that is like, that's my motivation. That moment when a bride walks in and she's just like, oh my God, like, I love it. You hit it right on the nail, you know?
Oh, that's the best feeling.
It is. It's the best compliment. That, and then referrals, you know. My clients are really good about writing me really good reviews and sending me notes. One of my clients that I have from May, Miriam and Alvaro, they are YouTubers. They have a vlog. Oh, nice. And so last week, I believe, they surprised me by vlogging.
Oh, cool.
And they talked about me, and what they said was just so heartfelt, and just, oh, I literally was watching it. I started crying, getting teary-eyed, because it was just, you know, it just made me feel so good about what I do, because they just couldn't stop saying such wonderful things about how I treated them, and, you know, just being honest with them, and not trying to take advantage of them, and all those things that I try to be really prideful about.
So where can, if any of our viewers want to find you, where can they find you? Where's the best place to reach you?
I would say Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook.
What's your handle?
So at Unique Events by Lina, all one word, Unique Events by Lina, all spelled correctly.
Lina.
Lina. And then we're right here on Grand Canal, right across from the Hilton. So yeah, either stop on in. We're usually by appointment only. So yeah, send me a text. My number's all over social media. If you're needing some guidance, if you need to run an event by somebody, if you're thinking about an event and you don't know where to turn, reach out
Awesome.
and come on in and get the help you need. Don't be intimidated and nervous.
Just come in.
Just do it.
You're obviously so friendly, and
Yeah.
anybody would be. I just like happy
Come
to
sit on the
in.
couch.
It's so cozy in
Come
here.
have some coffee, some champagne, whatever floats your boat, and just come in. If you're a vendor that wants to network, if you're somebody that is new in the industry, whatever.
Love it. And so, guys that are watching, if you got something awesome out of this, or you think any of your friends would get something out of this, tag a friend, share this on your page, and let's keep the momentum going.
Yes,
So,
and hands to you for
Aw,
doing this.
thank you.
She's awesome. What she's doing, getting out and meeting people and business owners and just getting information out of them is huge. It's huge.
Thank
So
you.
you're like that segue between everybody, and that's an awesome calling and an awesome job.
Thank you. It's so much fun. It's just a kind of a piece of what I do. And hey, and if you're watching and you want to do a Facebook Live with me, just shoot me a DM or, like this post, comment on it. And I would love to, if you're someone here locally who is making an impact, I'd love to sit down and chat with you. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna get up and turn this off now. All right. Thanks a lot. Oh, here we go.